Hello, and welcome to the League of Women Voters. My name is Whitney, and I'm a voter engagement volunteer with the League of Women Voters of North Dakota. We are so glad that you've become a member and joined us in our mission of empowering voters and defending democracy. We are going to go through a little bit about the League, ways you can get involved, what we do so that you can feel empowered in your membership. Okay, so who we are. Here are some of the basics. The League history, we've been doing this work for over 100 years. The League was founded in 1920, 6 months before the 19th Amendment was ratified and women won the right to vote. You'll see in the picture the Votes for Women League. That actually became the League of Women Voters of North Dakota, right in Fargo in 1920. So the League in North Dakota has been doing work just as long as the League across the United States. The League began as a mighty political experiment to help the 20 million women carry out their right to vote. So we've been doing this work of empowering voters and defending democracy for quite some time. Okay, so here's from 2024. Right now it's 2026 when I'm recording this. So this is the data we have from the last big election year. It says 700 plus state and local leagues. We now have over 800 state and local leagues across the whole country. So this is looking at the league nationwide. There's over 1 million members and supporters. And in 2024, 9.38 million voters' rights were protected through LWV, so through the league's litigation across the US. The league has a nonpartisan election information website called vote411.org, and over 9.19 million people used it in 2024. We'll talk more about it later. And then there's a couple other stats on the page that you can check out. So this is some of the wider impact of the league across the US because you belong to all three levels of the league when you become a member. So you're part of your local league, the state league, and the national league. It's really special about the league that it's working at all three levels of government. So when the national league puts out an action alert, it can trickle down to state and local leagues. And then ideas also move up from the local leagues to national. So it's really cool to have a national organization, but also volunteers right on the ground in their communities. Okay, a big thing about the league is it is nonpartisan, so we don't support or oppose candidates or political parties. So it's nonpartisan, but it is political. It is involved. We are involved in politics. We advocate based on issues, not political parties. The league studies issues, develops positions, and advocates for or against public policies. So even though we're nonpartisan, so we're not endorsing candidates, we're not opposing candidates, and all that, but we are taking positions on issues. Okay, so here's a few things the League is working on right now. Restoring the Voting Rights Act of 1965, defending voting rights across the country, fighting redistricting, that's partisan or racial redistricting, advocating for the Equal Rights Amendment, getting big money out of politics, and abolishing the Electoral College. But this isn't all the League does, but this is just some of the work the League is doing right now across the country. It's doing a lot. Okay, so we have two hats. You can wear one hat, but not both hats. You can wear your voter engagement hat, serving voters by protecting voting rights, informing voters about the voting process, sharing Vote for One, observing the election process, but then there's the action and advocacy hat. So taking action on issues. So if we wanted to take a position during the legislative session in North Dakota, we'd have to look at the positions the league already has in their big policy position book called Impact on Issues, determine if we can or should support or oppose the issue, and then that we do have a board spokesperson to speak on the issue, and we might send an action alert. So members don't speak on behalf of their league unless they're usually the president or vice president, or if they're a designated spokesperson. So that's how our action works. Okay, so now we'll shift over instead of just broadly, we'll key in on North Dakota here. So, welcome to the North Dakota League. The power of our league comes from our hundreds of members across North Dakota and Clay County and now Polk County, Minnesota. So we have these cross border lines. We have some Minnesota members too. Yay! Maybe you are one. We currently have 5 local chapters and a growing network of at-large members across the state. Our membership is open to anyone of any gender, age 16 plus. Okay, so our structure is we have voting members of the North Dakota board, so the state league, who provide direction for the North Dakota League. We focus on communications, statewide initiatives, state legislative session, resource creation. So anything statewide, that's where we're focused. Local chapters, they're separate organizations with boards that make decisions on their activities. They are guided by the North Dakota League and the National League, and they focus on local activities like tabling, advocacy, and engagement locally. We also have members at large. They don't have a chapter nearby, but they can hold league activities as a member of the state league or join a nearby chapter for their events. So we have a small but mighty volunteer team at the state level. So if you are a member at large, let's say, and you want to do something in your community, please email us. You'll see it right there, nodaclwv@gmail.com, because we want to support you in your work. Okay, so here's what we focused on in the 2025 legislative session. Our priorities, and these will probably continue, is number one will be voting rights and election bills we'll be tracking. Transparency and ethics in state government and campaign finance. You can see that there were over 1,000 bills filed. We tracked 60 bills, 61, and then we have a team of observers who watch those bill hearings to see what happens with those bills. 250 volunteer hours, so we are very active in the legislative session in North Dakota. Okay, here's some of our other programs. We have a statewide voter guide on vote411.org, election observation, virtual presentations, how to run for office trainings. We do digital communications and create resources. We do voter outreach. We do voting rights advocacy. So we have a lot of programs, and we're even working on curriculum and civics. So we do a lot. We have a lot of different programs. Feel free to email if you have any questions about these or would like to get involved too. Let us know. We'd love to have you. Okay, the key program we have is vote411.org. It's our most powerful program that we run statewide during all the election season. It's the National League's one-stop shop for nonpartisan election information nationwide. It serves millions of voters each year, available in both English and Spanish. And we get to publish a statewide voter guide on Vote411 before each state election, covering all the candidates. So June is like 2,000 candidates. And then November is fewer because it's not our city elections in November. So yeah, we send questions to candidates and they respond in their own words, and then we publish them on Vote411 for elections. So it's a great tool, especially for those local races where people aren't as familiar with their candidates. We also put summaries of the statewide ballot measures on there. So we try to write those at like a 9th grade level. Some of them are kind of tricky, but we do our best to make them very simple summaries. Okay, so how can you get involved? Number one, you can share vote411.org in your community and ask candidates to respond if you see they haven't responded. You can attend league events or help plan events with your local chapter. You can table or give presentations, sign up to be an election observer, be an observer for the next legislative session, or work on outreach to student voters. These are just some ways, if you want to get involved, that we could use your help. Okay, if you have limited amount of time, what could you do? Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and invite your friends to follow us. Invite a friend to become a member. That's really how we run our programs and run our league here. We're all volunteers, so those memberships are really important for running our programs and doing this great work in North Dakota. If you have 20 minutes, you could scroll through our social media, catch up on what we're doing, and you could explore vote411.org so you're ready to share it and know it a bit before the election. The next one, a few hours, you could attend a league meeting, event, or social gathering, or you can sign up to volunteer if you have the time. We'd love to have you. Okay, so thank you so much for becoming a member and for helping us make democracy work. We really appreciate your membership and that you're joining us. We are so excited to have you. If you want to connect with us on any of this or have questions, email us right there, nodaclwv@gmail.com. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.